Welcome to Christian Statesman. I'm your host, Zach Wagner, and this is episode 53, Vortex Vexations. I just returned from the East Coast for a golf outing with extended family. While watching the sunrise over the Atlantic, I picked up the hotel's copy of USA Today and looked at the weather map. Single-digit temperatures in Houston? How is that possible? A polar vortex of historic proportions just snowed in the great state of Texas and most of the rest of the middle of the country. Such a weather event has never been experienced in recorded history, with freezing temperatures and snow extending all the way into the deserts of Mexico. This event taught us all a few lessons. Perhaps the first lesson is to learn that Mother Nature is sometimes quite unpredictable. As one who has studied paleontology since my youth, we learn that the history of the Earth has been one of vastly changing and often catastrophic climatic events. We are often taken unawares, although we should never be truly surprised when nature throws us a curveball. And this vortex had all the surprising character of a Nolan Ryan breaking ball. The second lesson is that despite all of the overheated climate change rhetoric, nature can do whatever it pleases despite the efforts of mankind to interfere. To blame this event on climate change is like trying to attribute a winning poker hand to the wood the tabletop is made of. The cards fall as they may, and in this case, nature itself just showed the strength of her hand, and unfortunately that hand was difficult for those caught up in the game. Another lesson comes down to state, city, and individual preparation. Such events can hold a very clear mirror up to reflect the true level of independence that exists among peoples and powers. The long food lines photographed in Dallas, Austin, and other Texas cities speaks poorly of individual levels of preparation. What does it take for the people of a nation to awaken and realize that some degree of self-sufficiency is necessary, even in the best of times? It is fascinating how prepper communities, so-called, receive so much criticism. The barbs thrown at people who decry a certain level of emergency preparedness include conspiracy theorists, nutcase, doomsday preacher, and worse. Yet this vortex just revealed that some level of self-sufficiency is helpful no matter what may be thrown at us. A decent supply of food, water, warm clothing, fuel, and even at times methods of personal defense are more common sense than conspiracy fodder. The folks in Texas and elsewhere are getting a rude object level lesson in such principles. Perhaps a most poignant lesson revolves around how people can pull together in such times of emergency. From the boat rescue crews who trolled for survivors during Hurricane Katrina to the good citizens helping their neighbors in the current disaster, a lesson on good community is always at the center of dire circumstance. One of the great attributes of being American is this common ethic of service. America and Americans have served more people in more nations than any other entity in history. The good folks in Texas are no different. This emergency reveals the nature of true Americans. While some may whine and demand government action, most others simply buckle down and look around to see what they might do to help. This is, after all, the decent Christian thing to do and reflects the traditional American way. One thing we can be sure of is that this event is by no means the last crisis we will face this year or into the near future. Magnetic pole movement, tectonic plate instability, and a number of other natural phenomena not even remotely connected to man's climactic impact on the planet portend some of the interesting fireworks coming out of Mother Nature's backyard. Just Google Cascadia subduction zone for a primer and the extent of disastrous possibilities ensconced within nature itself. If we are wise, we will take this recent vortex as a voice of warning and organize ourselves and our homes to be better prepared for whatever may come next time. History has a way of providing us with such not-so-gentle reminders. Are we listening? Thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe, tell your friends, and as always, have a blessed day.